Hi everyone, it's Shirley from Shirley's. I thought I'd come on here and do a little something different. I've already eaten. I'm just having my morning coffee. And I thought I'd start giving some tips about thrifting and ways that I have found to start saving money. I'm 73 years old. Never before this past year have I ever had a budget. I know that seems ridiculous, but I wasn't one to budget, and I just sort of spent, like I said, helter-skelter, and that wasn't going to work for me anymore. So, of course, like many older people, I have a limited budget. It's not going to get much bigger, and I have to start watching how I spend. So I started listening to Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you all know who he is. I don't have my other lens on here, so I have to back up a little bit. He is a financial guy that has a radio program. I think he's had it for close to 20 years. He's written books, how to save money, how to manage money, and how to get out of debt. I did have credit card debt, so that's the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to make a budget, and I wanted to get out of all debt, or most of my debt. I don't have a house payment. My house is paid off, but it's expensive living in the country, so there's a lot of other expenses, but I don't per se have a house payment. So I looked at my finances. I belong to Chase Bank, which you can get a free financial advisor at Chase Bank. I don't know if you know that, and probably a lot of other banks too. If you bank there and you if you ask, there's a way to get a free financial advisor. So that's what I did, and he's helped me a lot. And I moved my money from one institution to another as far as my stock stuff goes, and put it in much safer places. Anyway, back to the thrifty part of this. I made a budget. I allotted. It'll take 2 or 3 months to really decide to see where your money is actually going. If you keep a budget and you write everything down for 2 to 3 months, you'll see where you're overspending, and you'll see where you can save. So, besides slowly paying my credit cards down, I have no credit cards balances anymore. I put all my credit cards away in a drawer. I don't carry them with me at all. They say don't close them, because that does something to your credit value, your credit. So I just put them away. I don't spend on them. I keep one in my purse for gas. I use that as my gas card, but I don't use it for anything else. My written down budget, like I said, I kept on paper. I use a budget online called Every Dollar. It's easy to use, and it's really good. It's one that Dave Ramsey recommended, but I started using it, and once I figured out how to use it, which is pretty easy, it's working really well for me. So I go back to that old-fashioned way of once a month. At the first day of the month, I go to the bank, I withdraw the allotted amount of money that I decide to spend for each area. Now, there's just some things that you actually, the things that you would give a credit card for, those are the envelopes I would make, like for food, any expenses for my animals. I made an envelope for miscellaneous, for personal, for a restaurant, which means eating out, and I put a certain amount in each one of these envelopes. And after you do this for 2 to 3 months, you'll see how you have to adjust. My food envelope was always empty, so I had to up my food envelope a little bit, but I had to come down on other things that I wasn't using near as much as I thought I was going to. So that's how I'm doing it. But that was the first thing when I decided, when my financial advisor said that if I kept spending like I was spending, I was going to run out of money. I mean, my basic money that I live on every month. I was going to run out of that source in about 12 to 15 years. Now, maybe it won't even matter, but see, in my mind, I plan to live to 100, so I don't want to run out of money. That would be terrible. So I had to adjust my way of doing things, which has not been painful. It's sort of, it's like a challenge, and I like challenges. So anyway, I thought I'd just give a few tips on the thrifty things that I've started to do. That hasn't really changed my way of living too much. I changed the way I shop. I shop with cash only. Cash only. That definitely keeps you from spending as much as just handing over a credit card and you don't even think about it. You slide that credit card through and you just buy stuff. You really buy things you don't need or you didn't intend on getting when you went into the store in the first place. So I used to shop at 2 stores that were fairly expensive, grocery stores I'm talking about. And I changed, everybody kept talking about Aldi, the grocery store. So I had never shopped there before. So I went there, and first of all, I like little grocery stores. I don't like these humongous stores that if you forget something in one aisle, and you always remember when you're way across the store, which is a mile back to the beginning of the store. I like smaller stores, and I did shop in one small store and one large store. But I changed the way I shop. I shop at Aldi for almost everything that I can get there, and it's a nice small store. I'm getting to know my way around it now, and I really like their brands. I mean, their brands, I haven't found one thing yet that I've exchanged. You know how much I like Eggos. Well, Aldi's brand, sometimes they'll get Eggos in special buys. Their brand is just as good as Eggos. I'm about to try their ice cream. I'm going to try chocolate because I'm real picky about chocolate ice cream. So that's how I'll judge their ice cream, on their chocolate. Vanilla, pretty much I'm not too picky about, but chocolate I am. Anyway, they're starting to get more and more organic fruits and vegetables, which is good. But you don't just save pennies in Aldi's. You save dollars on each thing, I'm telling you. Instead of paying $3, $4 for a box of cereal, you're paying $1.99 or $1.89. It's a big difference, not just a little difference. So I'm sure that's going to make a big difference in my food, how much I spend on food a month. Another thing that they say, now I have not done this yet, but I want to start. They talk about making a menu for the week or for the month. And I'm sorry, that's my dog coughing. Making a menu for the month, or I'm going to try it weekly, and then shop just off of that menu. So I'll try that. I've never done that before. I should have been doing it when I had a family, you know. Now it's just me, and it seemed ridiculous to have to make a menu. But I can see where you would just go get what you need that you don't already have, and that's all you buy, you know. So I'm going to try it. I'll let you know how that works for me. And the thing is about shopping, I'm trying not to just go shopping. You know how you just go and look around and go shopping, because unless I have something specific to go buy, I try to stick to that list, that just specific things, and get out of that store. Because if you know as well as I do that if you walk around a store and just look at things, and it you know, you just buy things that you think, oh, I needed that, or I'll be able to use that, you know, in 2 weeks, or, you know, down the line. So I'm not going to shop like I used to anymore. That's my resolution. We'll see. Okay, a couple little tips on things. These are just little things that I've decided that irritate me. Have you ever had bottles? You know, these pump bottles. This is a cosmetic thing. I mean, this is used after your moisturizer, and it's a primer for your face, so your makeup stays on all day. Well, it has one of those lids that doesn't, this was on tight. It doesn't screw off. It's on there tight. I had to take, my sister's up. I had to take this thing and pry it off, because you pump this to the bottom, but there's still a lot of this left in the bottom. See all that's left? This is expensive. And if you only use a tiny, tiny amount. So after I've pried this off, there's probably enough in here to last me, heavens, at least another 2 weeks or more. So thought I'd give that little tip. That's using things to the last drop. Lotions and soaps is another thing. When your soap gets down to barely nothing, you just sort of put it in a container with other little soaps, and a little bit of water. They all meld together and make another big bar. A long time ago I started, and I could hardly believe I was doing this, but I had these socks that I wear. I couldn't get them anymore, so I actually started darning my socks. And my sister's laughing at me, but I did. I couldn't get these socks anymore. I didn't like the ones that they had, so I actually darned. And they lasted probably another year after that, so I'm just saying. There's things you can do. So that's my tips for today. I'm going to have a lot more. I have a lot more listed, but I want to save them for another scope. But if you're interested in the thrifty things, let me know, and I'll keep doing this. I haven't had anybody say one thing, so maybe this isn't going to be a good topic. You seem to like me better when I'm cooking, or I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to try this for a while. I used the time when I was eating breakfast this morning to listen to some scopes that I like to follow live, and they're the ones, the people I follow that are from England, over in like Alex Pettit and Mark Shaw, because there's a big time difference, so they're on early, and if I can catch their scope while I'm eating breakfast, then I can just watch them instead of scoping, and I'll scope when I'm drinking my coffee. So I will do this again tomorrow. And today we're going, I have to go to the library and the post office and mail out some of my eBay things. So I will catch you again later. I'll do my chickens later too. All right.